Welcome to Stay in Touch, the podcast that unpacks the complexities of financial plannings and programs. Join us as we explore the options available to you to have a better financial future. I'm your host, Mariana Villareal, and each week I'll have an expert in the field that is going to give you information and knowledge to help you plan the best future that you can. Whether you're a small business owner, head of household, or just a little bit curious, Stay in Touch is here to empower and educate our listeners by debunking some myths, some misinformation, and we will cover a wide range of information for you to have a better plan for your future. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Staying in Touch. I'm your host, Mariana Villareal, and today we have a very special guest. We have with us today Adam Bercowicz, an independent life and health agent, also known as Official Chef Adam, because that's like his passion, his little hobby on the side. Great cook, at least from the videos that I've been seeing. But thank you for coming all the way from Florida.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the invite and everything. I know it was a little last minute.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, heck yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're pretty new to InTouch Financial Group. I think we've been together for about a year now.
Just about a year, yeah.
Yeah, and so you are an independent agent. Basically, you are in charge of your own business. Yeah. And just a little background on where you were to now where you are and why you decided to, join an agency, because you were pretty much direct with all of the insurance carriers. You went in, you got your contracts.
That's right.
You were just doing it on your own. And then the opportunity came to, be part of an agency. And most people are scared to do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of agents have been burned, if you can say,
sure, yeah,
by large FMOs, large agencies, because they promise you the world and they don't deliver.
Yeah.
And so before we get into how you came into InTouch, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, why and how long you've been doing health insurance?
Sure. So I've been in the health insurance industry for just over 10 years. It was recently my 10-year anniversary. Prior to that, I was a professional chef. I've been working in kitchens, forever. I went to culinary school. I kind of got into the insurance industry by accident through my father, who had been doing insurance for, 40, 45 years. So one day I was in between chef jobs. My dad had asked me to come work with him so I can, have some income coming in while I was looking for another chef job. And, the first day knocked it out of the park and, I never turned back. So, from there, I worked at a few call centers selling health insurance. Then I transitioned into Medicare and then back into regular health insurance. Then I had my own call center with my own agents. That was before COVID. Once COVID hit, I went into business just by myself on my own, working from home. Again, just doing Medicare, and then transitioned into doing both Medicare and under 65 health insurance. The way I came to be, the way I met InTouch and Eric was actually through my little brother, who's also in the industry. He's been in the industry for about a year less than I have. So yeah, my brother's really great at what he does as well. But yeah, I met Eric through him. They met on, I think it was an Ambetter trip, and that's how I got hooked up with InTouch. And I've really been happy with InTouch ever since I've came on board. I brought on a lot of people under my own agency, so that was a good thing that InTouch helped me out with a lot. So most of the people that I brought on have found success through InTouch as well. So
yeah, and so when partnering up with an agency, it has to be kind of like the agent interviewing the agency.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Where am I going to go from here? Because I'm already successful. So how the heck are you guys going to make me grow even bigger than what I already am, because you and your brother, you guys are very successful at what you guys do. And so, you know, when partnering up with an agency, which most agents are pretty scared of, the questions you should be asking yourself is, what more can you guys do for me? AKA, are you guys going to give me the support that I need for growth? Which in your case, now you have a whole agency, basically. The back office support with, you know, your members and having, you know, an extra call or like an extra set of hands to keep up with your book of business. Because I think that's one of the biggest struggles as an agent, right? To like maintain your book.
Correct. Yeah.
And so then another thing that most agents ask themselves are they going to help me with marketing, and what other resources can I get from an insurance? And so working with InTouch Financial Group, you know, you have a little bit more insight on what's going on around. But what do you feel like as an independent agent has been like your biggest success, and how you got to where you are now for a brand new agent that's starting?
For a brand new agent that's starting, I always recommend, you know, first finding a good FMO. And, you know, to touch on that is when you're looking at an FMO, you know, again, like you said, they're going to promise you, a lot of them are going to promise you the world, and, you know, they under-deliver big time. So for me personally, going with an FMO or even just a regular upline that's just one person, not even an agency, for me, it always has to be, you know, give and take. So if someone is going to be making an override on me or vice versa, you know, for me, you know, they either need to provide leads or, you know, office space or something like that, you know, just some sort of support. So for my agents that are in my hierarchy, you know, I provide them leads, or at least a good lead source. I provide them the source, you know, the support that they need, contracting, higher commissions. Just, you know, it just can't be somebody taking something without giving anything back. So as an independent agent starting out, the first thing I would do is, you know, learn the business, obviously, which again, if you're probably going to get burned one or two times, but it's just kind of part of the game, and, you know, quote unquote, paying your dues. And it just happens like that. I mean, sometimes you might get lucky and you might hit the jackpot on, you know, the first spin. But as far as looking for an FMO, definitely do your research on them. If you can, talk to other people that are with them, because agents that are with FMOs will give you their honest opinion, because 9 out of 10 times they're stuck with that FMO, you know, for at least, you know, 6 months to a year if they're trying to get out of it. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then when it comes to, because now you're doing both under 65 and over 65. So with over 65, there's a lot of information. There's a lot that people are scared of because of compliance, CMS. And so a brand new agent going into selling Medicare or med subs, anything that has to do with Medicare. I know that the other day you and I were talking about how, because you seem very passionate about supplements.
Yeah, no, I'm a big supplement guy. Yeah.
And so a lot of agents don't understand the difference between a Medicare Advantage plan or a supplement plan. And most members don't know the difference either. They just know there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's a lot of letters to Medicare. So could you give like a little, you know, I guess, teach us a little bit about the differences between a D and the Medicare Advantage prescription plan and then med subs?
Yeah. So pretty much most people in this country that are turning 65, are, you know, they take their Medicare most of the time. I mean, there's certain situations where, you know, people don't take it for a while or at all, but those are, you know, very specific situations. In my opinion, the best plan for somebody to go with is a Medicare supplement, whether it be a Plan G or a Plan N or something like that. So, you know, those are going to be your supplements. And then the Part C, that's what's known as the Medicare Advantage plan. I mean, as an agent, those have a lot more rules and regulations. The compliance is a lot tighter on it. Not that that's a bad thing. Just in my head, it's just kind of, I feel like it should be the other way around, just because the supplement is, a much better, it's a much better product. It's going to give you 100% coverage, pretty much for the rest of your life. You have a very small maximum out of pocket, and it virtually allows you to go anywhere you want, any doctor or hospital, anywhere in the country, versus a Part C or a Medicare Advantage plan. You kind of have to do what they tell you to do. You're kind of giving up your Medicare rights. And then the Part D, that's just your prescription coverage. So people that would get a supplement would take a Part D as well. But yeah, for example, as far as agents, deciding on what to do, like, again, going back to my brother is the under 65 guy. He's like big time in that. So he taught me a lot about under 65, and I'm actually his downline for that. But when it comes to Medicare, he's my downline because I'm more experienced in that. So we kind of help each other out that way. And my really good buddy Matt, he's the one that originally helped me out with getting set up for Medicare and kind of teaching me the ropes. So I work very closely with him as well. But as far as an agent deciding on which one to sell, it just depends on. I mean, you could sell both. Which is what a lot of agents do. Me, I do sell both, but I'm very heavy on the supplement side, just because, again, I believe in it a lot more. My dad has one, so as far as getting that feeling of you actually helped somebody and you did something really good for someone, the supplement's the way to go, because they once they use it, they understand the value in it and they understand what it is that they have purchased. A big thing about it is the supplement comes with a monthly premium on average of like $125 a month, between 100 and 150, somewhere around there in most states. And the supplement is at no cost the Advantage plan is at no cost most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people get sold on, but they're not working with an agent that's really laying out the benefits for them and letting them know exactly what the differences are. So it is important, as a consumer to know that, just, to know what's going to be your best option. Because if you take the Advantage plan when you're first going into Medicare, you might be stuck with that for the rest of your life, depending on your situation. Because you may, a lot of the times you won't be able to go into a supplement later on if you do change your mind 6 months, a year, or a year and a half down the line. So, yeah, it's important.
So maybe it's, and as an advice, look at supplement plans, see if it's within your budget.
Sure.
And then try it out for like a year. And if you love it, stay with it. But if you feel like, you don't really need it, then maybe go to something with the no cost, just to have extra backup.
Yeah, that's a big selling point for me when I'm pitching these plans to people. I always recommend try it for a year or two, and then later on, if you decide that you want to switch to an Advantage plan, you can do that. No harm, no foul. It doesn't work the same way the other way around because you may have pre-existing conditions, you may not pass underwriting, and things like that. So if someone's on the fence about it, I always recommend starting with the supplement first, and then if you really feel like you don't need it, then you can go to the Advantage plan. And again, the Advantage plan is not bad. I'm kind of making it sound like it's a bad thing. It's not bad. It's just a different type of coverage.
Yeah.
What I always tell people is that the supplement does just that. It supplements your original Medicare A and B, to where it covers everything that the original Medicare doesn't pick up. The Advantage plan kind of takes over your Medicare A and B. So when your doctor asks you what kind of insurance you have, you always say Medicare Advantage, not just regular Medicare, because you have to see if that doctor accepts it.
Yeah. So it's more like a traditional health insurance plan where you're kind of like limited to a network and things like that. Okay. Yeah. So that's really good information for agents trying to decide whether they want to do, supplements or Advantage, because it can get very confusing. And a lot of consumers get super confused too, because they see Medicare and they think Medicare is just Medicare. But no, there's original Medicare, there's Advantage, there's supplements, there's a bunch of stuff. And then when it comes to under 65, so in that world, it's called ACA Marketplace.
People still call it Obamacare.
Obamacare. There's just so many names to it. they're scared of it because of the subsidy.
Yeah.
And so, again, as a consumer looking into marketplace health insurance, they think, oh, they don't accept Obamacare at my doctor. Obamacare is just a program. And the health insurance carriers are the insurance carriers that have marketplace plans because of the way that it's paid.
Yeah.
So for an agent that maybe, only does Medicare and they're thinking about doing ACA, how would you kind of like guide them a little bit into, okay, maybe start it this way? And then because a lot of people they don't want to deal with it and they just refer to another agent or somebody else. Sure.
Going back to my buddy Matt, who helped me out with Medicare when I was first starting out. He's my downline for ACA plans. So the way I kind of brought him on board is I said, hey, you're signing people up that are 6 months out from turning 65. At the same time, instead of, because he used to refer that business to me. So I would tell him, just sign them up yourself. And, that's like a side stream of income that you're going to have coming in. I mean, even if it's only for, 6 or 7 months, they may have a spouse that's on the plan with them. And then, you can slowly build up a book that way. When you keep their spouse on the ACA plans, and then those people are going to send you referrals, and before you know it, you're going to have a book of 500, 1,000, 1,500 clients, just from effortless work, because you're already signing them up for the supplement.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then another thing that I've kind of heard agents talk about ACA, which it goes back to like educating the consumer correctly. So, when it comes to the subsidy, it is based on income.
Sure.
On your taxes, what you guys are declaring. And it's based on that, the government gives you what's called a subsidy savings, and it's applied towards a health insurance plan, because everybody always hears like, you have health insurance for $0? How is that even possible?
All the time.
And it's because of subsidies, income levels. And so there's some people that don't qualify for a high income or like a low
like a low monthly premium.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so there's still like high premiums and things like that. And so they decide to go maybe with a lower cost plan that has very high deductibles. And then this is when most agents pair them up with a life insurance policy that has living benefits.
Yeah.
And so some people are like, well, if I do life, do I only have to do life insurance, or how can I combine, health insurance with life insurance policies? So do you kind of work with that, like combining both of them, or not really?
Yeah, a lot of the times I do. If someone, again, doesn't qualify for that high of a subsidy or, that low of a monthly premium, I usually, if they're dead set on taking something with a really low premium and a high deductible and high copays or something like that, I would usually pair them up, with that plan, along with like a hospital indemnity plan or something along those lines, which again, you can add life insurance onto that as well. But, again, what I tell, my downlines is have as many things as you possibly can in your arsenal, just, because you never know when someone might need it. So that's pretty much my viewpoint on it is, if you're able to, if you're already licensed for it anyway, you can get the contract, go ahead and get it. If somebody needs it, you have it. Now you don't have to refer that business out, and, you can just make the commission on your own. Obviously, as long, you want to do it compliantly and not, you don't want to be like, you don't want to just sneak it in there. You want to obviously tell the client about it and let them know exactly what they're getting. Because, the name of the game, whether you're doing ACA or Medicare, is retention. It's retention, retention, retention. You want those people to stay with you. And, again, if they're your client for ACA and they're aging into Medicare, that's a brand new, piece of business for you.
Yeah. And so what do you think is, like, other than retention, is the hardest part about the health insurance industry?
Leads and marketing. That's for sure. That's number one. Yeah, because if another thing I like to tell people, especially my downlines, is you can have the highest contract, you can have the best plan. A plan could pay you $1 million a policy, and if you don't have anyone to sell it to, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you have. So yeah, leads and marketing is the biggest thing. You have to obtain clients. Yeah.
Yeah, and so with leads, I feel like it could be a little hard, you know, because it does take a lot of money, a lot of investment to obtain leads from a source. So let's say a starting agent can't afford to get leads. Where would you kind of like guide them to if they can't afford a lead source?
I'm going to give you the best example. I'm going to go back to my brother, because my brother is my little brother, my baby brother. He's a hustler by nature. So, you know, when he parted ways with the last company that he actually worked for, that's when he started doing ACA on his own, and you know, he wasn't buying leads. He called up every single one of his friends and family, and I'm talking about every single one, and he signed them up for an ACA plan. He called them up. He called up my parents' friends, his friends' parents, his neighbors. I mean, he really put himself out there, and I mean, he went on. You know, his neighborhood had like a Facebook group. He went in there and he snatched everybody up. I mean, he really, yeah. Well, you know, if I would say that's like the blueprint. If you're starting out on your own and you don't really have any money to put into marketing, you know, if you follow that blueprint, yeah. Because I mean, he really like made a name for himself that way.
Yeah, so. And I think at least something that we tell all of our agents is, don't go in telling everybody you sell something, because then they're going to be...
It's the worst word.
Yeah. Oh, I sell insurance. Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. It's a service job. Yeah. I help you apply for your health insurance. I help you pick a plan. I help you with your application. So once you go in with a mindset of, I'm helping you, now people are a little bit more open to it instead of being scared because like, oh my gosh, what about if they're not selling me the right thing? Mm-hmm, sure. But if you make it as more of like a service option and you post on your social media, you know, open enrollment's coming up, helping my community enroll for health insurance, reach out to me. I'll help you. I'll get you a quote. I'll help you pick a plan. I'll help you with your application, all of that. Now it's more of like people are going to be a little bit more, okay, they're helping me.
Yeah.
Instead of selling. So I think when it comes, because I think that's one of the biggest scare of brand new agents. Sure. They don't want to seem as like, oh gosh, what are they trying to
sell? What are they trying to get out of me?
Exactly. Yeah. But instead just go in with more of a service mind.
Absolutely.
I'm helping you.
Yeah.
And I think that can kind of clear a little bit more of a path for brand new agents with their families, with their friends, with their neighbors. It's now more service. So I think that, and it actually is. It's not just like trying to trick somebody into telling them, I'm serving you. But it really is. Most people are very grateful for the things that we do because I'm pretty sure with your clients, you're like, oh, do this, and this. And they're like, oh, wow. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I get calls from people that I signed up years ago on Medicare, and you know, I just had a surgery, and it would have cost me, you know, $250,000, and you know, my plan paid for it all. Thank you so much. I get calls like that all the time. You know, people go onto my website online, or you know, they leave me a Google review. The name of my company is Licensed Medigap Advisors, by the way. So if, you know, on Google, you know, people leave reviews all the time and they always say, you know, thank you for helping me, or thank you for providing the service. Not like, oh, you sold me a great plan, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you do have to be a salesperson. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like the term salesperson is just like, it's very like seedy. It's like very, you know, it's like car dealership type stuff. So yeah, providing a service is definitely the mentality you have to go into it with, you know, because people want to be sold, but they don't want to feel like they got sold.
Yeah.
So you know.
I do that all the time when I go into like a store and I like the shirt, you know,
Yeah.
If the person is a good sales rep and they come up to me and they're like, you should try it on.
Yeah.
See how it looks on you. And then, okay, you're like, okay, I'll go try it on. And then if they tell you, maybe go up a size, it'll fit better, or go down a size.
Sure.
And then now you're kind of helping the person and like pushing them to the right direction. And it's at the end of the game, at the end of the day, sorry, had a stroke there. It's a mind game.
Sure.
It is, because like you said, nobody wants to feel like, oh gosh, what did I just buy? Because you always have that remorse after buying something that you feel like you shouldn't have. But another thing that most agents are a little bit scared of is the word compliance, CMS.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I think it's just, it's like working for corporate. Everybody has their rules.
Sure.
You have to follow the rules, especially with health insurance. At their hardest time, that's when they're going to need it the most. And like you said, getting that review of like, oh, you helped me save so much money. How can you ease the mind of brand new agents where they're like, oh, compliance?
At the end of the day, compliance is there to, not only help, not only protect the consumer, it's there to protect you as well, as the agent. For like, again, going back to Medicare Advantage, being really tight with compliance, if you're doing it over the phone, all of your calls have to be recorded, every single one. So again, that's there to protect the consumer. But if the consumer files a complaint against you and, for one reason or another, that complaint is not accurate, you have the recorded call and you can show, CMS like, hey, no, I did this the right way. So again, it's to protect the agent as well. So, you shouldn't really be scared about compliance, because at the end of the day, if you're doing it the right way, compliance shouldn't scare you. If you're not doing it the right way, you shouldn't be in the industry to begin with. So,
that's true. Yeah, you do have to do the right thing, because you have somebody's life basically on your hands.
That's right. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just how it is.
I mean, how would an agent feel if, you gave somebody the wrong plan, or you kind of did something sneaky, and then they came out of the hospital with like a $50,000 bill, and now they're filing bankruptcy. Like, you'd feel terrible.
Exactly.
So,
And then the other day, I think it was yesterday, somebody had a case where this person who was on cancer treatments had their specific ACA plan that was covering everything. Mm-hmm. An agent decided to do something wrong, changed them to a completely different plan.
Yeah.
Obviously, it takes a whole month or up to 3 months for CMS to do the right thing. But the doctors are not going to take you if you're not covered.
Correct.
Unfortunately, that person passed away because they couldn't get the right treatments.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you're coming into this industry, you definitely have to have, one, like a good heart and really think about the person that you're, helping. And then 2, like ethical work.
Yeah.
Like, follow the rules.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, you're here to make money, but you're also helping people. If you put the helping people first, ahead of making money, I mean, you're going to make money. So.
Yeah. And so that's another thing that people are asking is this a really good industry to make money in? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great industry to make money in. It's probably a lot, it's probably a lot harder now, especially, after COVID. A lot more people are trying to find jobs where they can work from home. It's same thing, with real estate. After COVID, everybody became a realtor, just overnight. And I don't know how it is in Georgia, but in South Florida, it's like every other person is a realtor, and they're trying to get you to buy a house. But it's the same thing with health insurance. A lot of people got their health insurance license after COVID, because they wanted to work from home. I mean, I guess it was harder to find jobs in their industry. So yeah, a lot of people that I know switched into the insurance game, whether it be life insurance or, I know some people that got their property and casualty license where they do, car insurance and homeowners and things like that. So yeah, Yeah.
Everybody's always looking for some kind of coverage to help them out. Okay. So a little bit about your chef.
Oh, man. All right.
What is your favorite dish to cook?
I don't really have a favorite dish, but I like to cook meat. We eat a lot of steak at my house, a lot of steak. So whether it be on the grill or anything. So
you're more like
big
protein.
Beef eaters. Yeah.
You're big on protein.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then so
I like to make ice cream a lot. I've been into that lately. I've been making a lot of ice cream.
Okay. You should try to make like different flavors, like odd flavors of ice cream, like cilantro, lime, avocado.
Oh, okay. That'll be the next one. Next one. Stamping
and then just put some tahini on top, and now you have like...
Love tahini, yeah.
Yeah, it goes with like the fruits.
Yeah.
A lot of people are scared of like starting to cook, or maybe their parents didn't teach them how to cook, or they don't want to go to culinary school.
Yeah.
I think like, what are the basics of cooking?
Like, what do you mean the basics? Like
how could you, for somebody that does not know how to cook, should they go to Worst Cooks in America or?
No, I mean, now with the internet, I mean, a lot of people don't even go to cooking school anymore. They just go on YouTube for a few weeks and all of a sudden, you think they know how to cook. I mean, if you find a good, YouTube channel, where you can like learn step by step, I mean, you can become a pretty good home cook. As far as working in like a high-end restaurant, I mean, that's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to go to school for it. You can start as like a dishwasher at a really nice restaurant and just kind of work your way up, which, the best chefs in the world didn't go to school. They started like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, once you learn the basics and, you learn how to handle a knife and, learn how to control heat in a pan, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our thing at InTouch Financial Group is health is wealth.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are trying to learn a little bit more about cooking at home, knowing your ingredients.
Sure.
Because unfortunately, the United States has like the highest obesity rates in the world.
Yeah.
And so, learning a little bit how to cook. I mean, go to his Instagram.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I don't know how much you'll learn, but.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good to have somebody that can, teach you about cooking and how to cook for yourself and also give you a health insurance plan.
Yeah, there you go.
To stay healthy. Yeah. But thank you, Adam, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great being here.
I think you're like a speaking testimony of somebody that really wanted something and went for it and wasn't scared. And you're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
And I see what you can do for your downlines too.
Appreciate that.
So if you're looking
love
for
my downlines.
if you're looking for an upline in South Florida, reach out to Adam. Great teacher. And again, thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Staying in Touch, where you can see what options are available to you as a consumer and as an agent starting in the industry. So join us on our next episode where we'll have another special guest so you can learn a little bit more whether you're buying or selling. Thank you, guys.
Listen to this interview and more on the Alliance Group podcast.